name is Dr. Amy Selkirk. I am the oboe instructor at the University of South Alabama, and I'm here today to help you with your technical etude for the Alabama High School All-State auditions. This etude comes out of the Fairling book. It is number 6. If you look at your key signature, there's just one sharp, F sharp, which means we are in the key of G major. If you look at the time signature, it says 3/8, which means there's 3 beats in a measure, and the 8th note gets the beat. And if you look at your tempo marking, it says allegretto scherzo. So allegretto just means very brisk and quick, and scherzo is a fast triple meter dance. So due to the tempo marking, I think it makes the most sense to feel this etude in a 1 instead of in a 3. So rather than 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, which can just get a little bit heavy, we want to feel 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So when you first look at this etude, I think it can be a little bit intimidating. There's quite a few notes on the page, and most musicians' impulse when they see a page like that has a ton of notes is just to play very, very fast, and it gets a little bit sloppy. And I think that's the opposite of what we want to do in an audition. So when practicing this, I recommend using a metronome. I recommend starting very, very slow and then working your way up 1 click at a time on the metronome. I also recommend trying to ground yourself on beat 1 of each measure, just to try to prevent yourself from rushing. So dita dia 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 ya ya dita ya dia dia ya ya dita ya dia da 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 da. So it's really feeling yourself grounding into beat 1 is going to help you from rushing throughout this etude, and that's going to help keep it nice and clean. I also know that 76 is the recommended metronome marking. I think if it's slightly slower than 76 when you perform for your audition, that's going to be okay. I think it's much better for it to be nice and clean and steady. When you look at the articulations, you'll notice that Fairling likes to change up the articulation patterns that he uses. So for example, in measure 1, you have 2 staccato notes followed by 4 slurred notes. In measure 2, there's a slur over the entire measure. In measure 3, you tongue the first note, it's staccato, and then you slur the next 5 notes, and the patterns continue to vary throughout the entire etude. So I think that is another reason why it's important to practice very, very slowly at first, just to make sure that you're playing the correct articulations, as well as playing the notes cleanly. There are 2 high notes in here that might be new for some of you, so I was just going to show you the fingerings. The first is your high C sharp. So high C sharp is going to be in your right hand, your middle finger, and your ring finger. And then in your left hand is going to be your index finger and your pinky on the low C. And then the next note is high D. So high D is going to be your index finger on the haffle, your middle finger, your ring finger, and then in the right hand, your middle finger on the E key and your pinky on the low C. So if I was to go back and forth between those, it would be that might be new for some of you that I wanted to point out. If you look at line 2, measure 7, you have what's called a grace note. So before the first note, you have a little A with a line going through it. So it's called a grace note. It's going to be played very, very quickly before the beat. Alright, and that's all I have for you on this etude. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. It's amyselkirk@southalabama.edu. Thank you.